there are a lot of expats that are from Spain. Okay, so for those who have like wanting to rent long term for like a year, 6 months to a year contract, and you want to try working in a call center here, as long as you're fluent in another language, whatever, German, French, Italian, Spanish, you'll be earning between $1,100 to $1,200 a month. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot. In the US, that's like a McDonald's part-time employee. I get it. But here in the Philippines, your rent or a condominium, I'm not saying around here, because you'll be paying about maybe roughly $500 to $600 a month here in BGC for a studio type 1 bedroom. However, if you're outside BGC, the average cost is only going to run you about maybe 15 to 18,000 pesos, or 250 or 275 to $300 US a month for a 1 bedroom, fully furnished, which means it has a refrigerator, stove, it has a mattress in the bedroom, maybe microwave, stove. You're looking at all of that. If you're a practical person, you can live quite comfortably. So my point is, if you work in a call center as a customer service representative, and chances are you'll earn more than I did, because like I said, I was just a Spanish customer service representative, and I was only making 60,000 pesos a month. So that was like $1,100 a month, or $1,200 a month back then, but nowadays it would be $1,150 a month, $1,150 a month. But I would say for someone like yourself, but what if you're fluent in Italian, or if you're fluent in German, and then you'll be making a little bit more. If you're a practical person and you're not like a person that is impractical, then you can live a very comfortable life in Metro Manila. I'm talking about. Now let's talk about the work culture. How's the work culture different here in the Philippines, in Metro Manila, than it is compared to, like, let's say anywhere in the US? The culture here is a little bit different when it comes to, especially depending on the position you're in. So if you're like a non-executive employee, you still get to go out with your supervisor. And what they call that is, what they have is quite often team buildings. I've experienced a lot of team buildings in certain call centers. Depending on how big or small the call center is will determine the key factor is if they're going to have a lot of team buildings or not. I know that one company I worked for, they didn't have any team buildings. And the other one had one like maybe once every 6 months, if that. But what a lot of people usually like to do, if it's not a team building, it's an informal thing. The supervisor will say, okay, we hit our quota, or we hit our KPIs, key performance index, for the month. Let's go out for drinks. So basically the boss man or boss woman will take their group of employees out to lunch, out to dinner. And yes, since this is the Philippine culture, you guessed it, they will be doing videoke. And having those drink towers, those tall, it's like a tower full of liquor, or I should say, yeah, like mixed with juice and whatnot. But you can ask around, hey, what's that all about? When you go to a videoke bar, that's what they usually have. They have buckets of beers. Yeah, that's an option too. And so that's the work culture here. When I first experienced that, I was kind of shocked, because I never had that in the US. I worked in an office, I just went home. We didn't really have any employee relations with the boss man or supervisors. We just went home and that was it. So recapping on the call center life here, you're curious, you're interested, maybe finding out more, then, you know, just shoot me a message, send me a comment, because there's a lot of vloggers that talk about how Manila is, what's the cost of living here, and they cover all those grounds. But I don't hear a lot of them talk about, hey, what if you're working here in a call center and you speak Spanish, or you speak German, or if you speak Italian, if you speak Korean, if you speak Chinese, what do you get for that? Well, you get enough. If you're a single guy and you got no other obligations back in your home country, then you have no excuse. You should have a very, very comfortable lifestyle here. Very. Because you should have no money problems whatsoever. I know I heard people running out of money here. They're in their 60s. I mean, they're retirees. They're only getting Social Security, and they run out of money here. I get it. But I'm not talking about like old people that are retirees. And no offense to older people, because I got friends, my vloggers are already in their 50s and 60s. I get that. I'm talking about people that are like the younger, like 30s and 40s. Maybe they're still working. Not everybody owns a business. Not everybody's on military pension funds. Not everybody's living off of retirement. So if you still have to work, but you're fluent in another language, I guarantee, again, guarantee that you should be able to survive here if you just apply in call centers for customer service representative for an additional language other than English. The only challenge, let's talk about the pros and cons. Now, that's the next thing I want to talk about. Pros and cons. Working in a call center, let's say you're applying for a position as a customer service representative in an additional language, whether it be Spanish, whether it be Portuguese, doesn't matter. The wait time is just, some call centers from start to finish, they call you up, initial interview, and then weeks could pass before the second interview, and then weeks could pass before you make the assessment. Usually the assessment comes right away, like a week or so, but you're talking about 3 months. I had a friend of mine from Venezuela. Obviously he applied for Spanish bilingual customer service. He applied in July, and he waited 3 months. He just got in training on board this month of October. So that is a challenge. So if you're looking to apply, some companies, depending how big they are, will determine the factor how long you have to wait. Now, like some of these smaller companies, these private companies, these call centers that only have like a very small office space, they have like maybe 25 seats or 30 seats at maximum. So they only have like 50 employees total, including management. You most likely it would take you only 2 weeks to get hired. Like, let's say, hey, look, we need somebody to start ASAP. All the call centers say that they need someone to start ASAP, but the difference is that the smaller companies actually mean it. When they say ASAP, they mean ASAP. You could be starting the following week. Like, be on the payroll, be in training, very fast. So if you're looking to start like sooner than 3 months, I would suggest applying at the smaller companies, not companies like Teleperformance or Accenture, because you'll have a wait time between start from application all the way to endorsed to training process. You're gonna wait a while. I mean, maybe Teleperformance might be a little bit sooner, depending. I'm not talking about if you're a regular customer service agent for English. Those are quicker. I get that. I'm talking about customer service for Spanish or for other languages like German, Italian, French, Portuguese. Those who are applying for a customer service representative for those particular languages, yeah, you're gonna wait a while. So I'm just giving you heads up. But overall, you should have the ability to survive here and live comfortably here. You don't have to get a local job here. You don't have to, say, oh man, I'm running out of money, I don't know what to do. Depending on your skill trade. If you're an IT, you were an IT manager, I don't know how much an IT manager makes here, so I couldn't tell you that. But chances are, even if they lowball, you're not gonna make what you made in the States as an IT manager, obviously, or a program writer or a data analyst, but at least you should be able to live comfortably. As long as your lifestyle isn't that extravagant, you should be okay. People are still working and they want to find out, how can I survive here in Manila? And I come from Italy, I come from France, well, apply for a French customer service representative, apply for Italian customer service representative. Trust me, it's a need here, it's a demand. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because like I said, I've been in the call center industry for enough years to observe that despite the pandemic, it still hasn't changed. It's still a need. I see it all over Facebook. I've joined over a dozen Facebook groups that are always looking for customer service representatives that are fluent in an additional language. So it's a need here, believe me. So that's all I wanted to say in regards to the call center lifestyle and how to survive here long term. If you're someone like myself that is fluent in an additional language, use that to your advantage. You don't have to go broke here. You don't. If you have the skills and you can speak an additional language, you're fluent, you can read and write in an additional language, you can send an email in an additional language, you're good to go. You have no excuses. I see the only challenge is that, you know, maybe the wait time, like, man, the time that they take to hire you. But those are the pros and cons. All right, guys, thanks for watching.